good morning. I had a decent night's sleep last night. It rained most of the night, stopped just a couple hours ago before I got up. And so today's hike, we're gonna do about probably 5 or 6 miles, and it's going to start immediately with going back across that river. So first thing in the morning, gonna jump in a cold river, get my shoes and socks all wet again. And I was then looking at the map last night, and the trail I am planning to follow actually crosses the river 10 times. And I am not going to be able to cross the river 10 times because I don't think there's going to be 10 different places where the river is even passable. I had to go quite a while just to find one place where I could cross the river. So I'm going to have to kind of pick one side or the other and just kind of scramble along the river, probably not on the trail for the most part. Going to do some bushwhacking, climbing up on the canyon sides, and try to make my way along the river that way. So far, this is not exactly what I was expecting on this trip. I was expecting a barren, desert-like environment with zero water, having a hard time to find water. I was not planning on there being so much water that there's like raging rivers, and the route I'm trying to take is going to be impassable because of so much water. It's nice to not have to worry about water, but it's kind of interesting. It's the complete opposite of what I was expecting on this trip. You know, just another adventure out in the wilderness. You know, that's why I come out here, to explore and to deal with stuff and get out there. It's never going to be easy. If there was an easy backpacking trip, what would be the point? You know, we come out here to push our limits, put our survival skills to the test, and just feel alive. So that's what we're gonna do today as we journey on down the Boulder Canyon. You know, I heard some hikers over in the distance where the river is going, and I couldn't quite hear what they were saying, but it sounded like they were trying to figure out how to get across the river. And then I heard some really loud yells, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I didn't hear any more voices. I don't know what happened. I hope they didn't like fall in the river. Hopefully they were just having some fun, but I figured they were probably going to be coming this way, but I haven't heard anything from them for the last 10 or 15 minutes, so hope they're all right. So yeah, this is a nice campsite. It would have been cool to get a fire going, but obviously that was not possible last night given that everything was soaking wet. I considered for a second trying to get something going this morning, but I just decided, you know, it's not really worth it. So yeah, just kind of taking my time this morning, not really in a big rush. We're only going to probably do about 5 to 6 miles today. I'm not really sure how long that whole 1.5 miles of river crossings is going to take, so I didn't want to schedule any kind of big mileage for the day. And for now, man, this sun is bearing down on me. I got to put on some sunscreen. It's starting to get towards late morning. I need to get going. All right, we have broken down camp. We are ready to hit the trail, starting day 2, and we're going to start things off bright and early with a river crossing. Yay! So it actually looks like the water levels here have gone down a little bit since last night after the rain stopped. So I think I can actually cross the river here at the official place on the map where it says to cross the river. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get across right here. Well, the current's pretty strong, but it's not too deep, so not really big of a deal.
I got bored with the trail, decided to take the river instead. Well, just completed our second river crossing. Again, not too bad. About, above the knees with a pretty strong current, but totally doable. Okay, river crossing number 3 completed. All right, we are here at river crossing number 4. You can tell where the crossings are because they're marked by these cairns here on the other side of the river. So whenever you see those, that means that's the official crossing point, and the trail will continue on the other side. So we're gonna go ahead and get our feet wet again. Well, it's time for river crossing number 5. Time for number 6. All right, so we have completed 6 river crossings so far. Not gonna lie, I'm getting a little cold. Having my feet and legs submerged in that cold river water over and over again. The sun's kind of gone back behind the clouds a bit, so I'm not getting that sunshine and warmth from the sun anymore. I could always stop and put on more layers, that's not an issue, but I'd just rather keep moving. But I'm starting to look forward to getting these creek crossings out of the way and get back on more established trail. So I got 4 more crossings to go, and then we'll be done with that portion. I'm gonna take a little break after that, eat some food, relax a little bit. But yeah, this little canyon that I'm in, I guess it's the Boulder Canyon, it's so beautiful. There's just amazing views all around. Just canyon walls, lots of cactus, this river running right next to it. It's really beautiful. So this has been a really enjoyable trip so far, other than the cold feet. Uh-oh, I see a cairn. So I know what that means. Time for crossing number 7. That's how you cross a river. Done with crossing number 8. 2 more, I hope. Campsite here by the river. Got a little spot for a campfire. Tempting, but I still got a ways to go. Got another little campsite here. These would be really good sites right next to the water. Steven's got some wood for a campfire. Man, if I was planning to camp around this time, I would definitely enjoy camping here, but I still got about 3-4 miles to go. So we will push on, but I might mark this on the map in case I ever come back. Alright, we have reached the junction of Boulder Canyon Trail and Calvary Trail, and this is where I'll be leaving the Boulder Canyon Trail, going to head onto the Calvary Trail, and I believe this marks the end of the river crossings. So I thought there was going to be 10 total, but I think maybe there was just 9. I don't know, maybe I miscounted, but it's gonna be a nice change of pace to leave the water for a bit and head off inland a little bit. And for now, we're gonna try to make up some time because those river crossings were definitely not quick. And looking forward to continuing on the trail. Okay, so we are climbing up now, up onto the side of the canyon wall, up above the river, which is nice. It's nice to do some uphill climbing. Pretty much the whole trail has been flat or downhill so far, and so I miss the uphill, so that's good. We'll have to see if it continues, but nice to get a little view of the river from up high, and we'll continue heading through this canyon. Okay, so we have long left the river behind. I can no longer hear the sound of the running water anymore. Had to throw on my rain jacket real quick because it started sprinkling a bit, which was right after I put my down jacket on, so didn't want the down jacket to get wet, so threw on the rain jacket. Although the rain only lasted for about 5 minutes, but it's a little chilly out here, so I'm going to keep the rain jacket on for now. Kind of just walking through this canyon area. It's really nice up here. I'm really enjoying it. Just the scenery is pretty epic. Everything's still super green. There's cactus everywhere. You know, surrounded by mountainsides and some big rock formations, and it's kind of like around every corner everything looks a little bit different. And so, well, speaking of rock formations, this just came into view, which looks pretty epic. So I definitely haven't seen too many people out here on this section of trail. I don't think I saw anyone yesterday except for this one family of backpackers who were just finishing a backpacking trip right as I was departing the trailhead. They were just finishing. Other than that, didn't see anybody. Today I've just seen a couple, I'm not sure if they were day hikers or backpackers, just real briefly, but other than that, like in the last couple hours, I haven't seen anybody. So really enjoying the remoteness and the isolation out here. It's really beautiful. Speaking of which, I don't know if the magnitude of these rock formations back here are really perceptible, but that looks pretty epic. guess what? Time for another river crossing. We are here at the LaBarge Canyon River, or creek, and I just realized that the route I'm planning to take goes along this creek for another mile or so with an additional 3 to 4 river crossings. So I thought I was done, but we're gonna get our feet wet again. Whew, that one was pretty deep. Came up to about my mid-thigh. About the limit of how deep I can go. Not too bad though. Well, you know the drill by now. Heading into the river once more. Well, that was no big deal. I wonder where this trail leads. Oh, well, will you look at that? Well, guys, looks like I have a decision to make. I just stumbled upon this pretty epic campsite right here. It's got a fire pit, it's got a little chair, it's right by the river, and check out this view. Whoa. I mean, this is like the perfect campsite. Plenty of open space to set up the tent. The only problem is I am still about 1.5 miles away from where I originally planned to set up camp. Still got about 1.5 hours of daylight left, and I gotta decide if I want to stop here and take advantage of this sweet spot or keep moving. So I'm going to take a look at the map, take a look at what mileage I have left after today, and I will let you know in just a second what I decide. But I'm definitely marking this spot on the map. Well, guys, maybe you guessed already, but I have decided to set up camp here. This spot is just too good to pass up. I really only have about 1.25 miles left from where I was gonna set up camp, and that ain't no big deal. I can make that up tomorrow in about 15 minutes. So I am going to set up camp. Still got over 1 hour of daylight left. It should be just about perfect. Should have everything set up and, you know, eat my dinner right as it's finally getting dark and then crawl into that tent. I've done about 1 million river crossings today. I think I've done more river crossings in the last 4 hours than I've done my entire life. It's been kind of cool, but my feet are wet, and I'm ready to get into some dry camp clothes, dry socks, get under that down quilt and settle in for the evening. So the only question now is, do I light a fire? And I don't see any kindling or wood immediately available, so probably not. But definitely gonna enjoy camping here. Oh, and when I said I could make that 1.25 miles tomorrow in about 15 minutes, probably more like a half hour, but still not a big deal. All right, got the tent set up. Just gotta throw on the rain fly in a minute, but just gonna take a little breather. Got my water filtering over here. This is the Sawyer Squeeze, but to be honest, I almost exclusively use it as a gravity filter. I find as long as the clean water reservoir is below the main bag there, it'll filter 2 liters of water in 15-20 minutes. So if you're in no rush, I don't feel the need to be squeezing that thing. I just let it work by gravity. And then pulling up a weather report on my InReach Mini satellite device. So that'll give me weather for the next 3 days. See what we're looking at tomorrow. And yeah, this is a great spot. Pretty stoked. Don't think I'm going to light a fire tonight, but certainly could, maybe in the morning. And just surrounded by epic views. I mean, come on. All right, so we got camp all situated, pretty much ready to dive into the tent and retire for the evening as soon as I'm ready to do so. So far in this trip, I have managed to avoid getting stuck by any cactus, which is a good sign already since it's been 2 full days with no cactus barbs. But this Frog Tog's rain jacket has definitely taken quite a few spikes just from rubbing against little plants that have little thorns and stuff. No actual cactus rubs, but just there's a lot of like real like kind of spiky thorny plants out here, and it's already gotten probably 2 dozen like little tiny little holes in it from rubbing against all those plants. This jacket is lightweight, it's cheap, but it's definitely fragile. It does not do well with abrasive stuff. It tears really easily, and I'm probably gonna have to retire this one at the end of this trip and grab a new one, which one of the good things about this being so cheap, it's only costs like 10-15 bucks. They're kind of disposable, you know, I can just buy another one and it's not really gonna break the bank or anything. This jacket has already lasted me a full year, over 20 backpacking trips. So I think, you know, 15 bucks for a year's worth of use is pretty good. You know, if you buy a $100 to $200, you know, professional rain jacket that lasts you 5 years, you know, this is still going to come out cheaper. So I like it. It's doesn't have pit vents or anything like that. I haven't ever had really any issue with overheating in it. I can just unzip it a little bit, or yeah, I've never really had an issue. Usually if it's raining, I'm cold enough already to where I don't have to worry about overheating. So but yeah, just gonna settle in and kind of watch the sunset, or rather the colors of the sky. The sun already physically set over the hillside, but looks like we might get some nice colors coming out as the sun officially sets, and then we're gonna head in for the night. Alright, so we are all buckled down for the evening, cooked up some ramen, ate a little food, and just hanging out in the tent. Check the weather. The temperature is supposed to get down below 32 tonight, so I've got my water filter tucked away in the foot box of my down quilt. But it's only 8 o'clock and there's already some ice collecting on the insides of my vestibules, so it might be a little colder where I am. And charging up some of my camera batteries right now. As soon as that's done, I'm going to pull the battery pack and the camera batteries, toss those in the foot box as well. You definitely don't want your water filter to be freezing, because if there's moisture in there and it freezes, the moisture will expand, which can actually kind of tear open the little micro holes of the filter and make them become bigger than, you know, they're supposed to be, and then the stuff that you're trying to filter out can get through. So you don't want your filter to ever freeze. So anytime it's forecasted to be near or below freezing, I always throw the filter into the foot box of my down quilt, so make sure it stays warm and toasty in there. And I'm gonna do the same thing with my batteries and my electronics as well, maybe even my phone when I finally go to sleep, just to keep all that stuff warm. But yeah, today was cool. It was a great day. There's a wide variety of things. There was different weather, there was rain, there was sun, there was a mixture of the two. We had about 15 million river crossings, which was interesting. Did a little bushwhacking, did a little route finding. Was down some canyons, up on some mountains by the river. So this is the end of day 2, and we got 2 more days to go. So looking forward to the next 2 days, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Well, good morning. Wow, that was quite a cold night.
that was one of the coldest nights I've ever experienced, and I've been out in a lot of really cold nights.